Hey everybody, this is William over here with WDCD Media and my boy LaVoy right here.
Holla at your boy.
All right, so today we are going to be talking about one of the coolest cameras that came down the line, and that's going to be the Canon, C400. But one of the things that kind of surprised us on it, and I was ultimately surprised on it, was audio. I was expecting more out of the audio. Everything else on it was just fire. We're going to kind of go over the specs. We're going to go over the sheet on their own page. So this is going to be pretty, normal. Like we're going to show off some stuff. So let's talk about that C400. Before we get into it, what's your impression of the C400 from your?
Well, it's a phenomenal machine. It's been a long time in the in waiting, right?
Yeah.
As soon as they dropped it, it just sent like a media frenzy. People, it was all over, excited about it. But the thing about it, with the competition with Black Magic's been. I'm personally a Black Magic user for a very long time, and a lot of people swear about a Black Magic. But a lot of people. One thing about Black Magic is that turns away a lot of people is because of their design. Until they came out with the Pixis.
Yeah.
The Pixis, the box design. So now to have Canon to come out with this C400, it adds competition to the field. So yeah.
Okay. Well, let's take a look at the C400 here. All right.
All right.
So when you look at the C400, I'm right on Canon's page because I don't like faking the funk. I like the real deal Holyfield. I love the look of the front of this. They went to a box camera. The previous one was not a box camera. It was that rounded off edge thing.
Right. It was quite, have the circular oval,
and then
contours.
The other one was the C70, which was kind of, we use these on a daily basis, you and I do, but it's not the same as a production camera.
Absolutely.
And that's one of the things that kind of turned me off on Canon is because I was expecting production cameras. And what I mean by that is, for example, let me show you this here.
Now the C70, yeah.
I use a lot of the FX series. And one of the things that's really nice about the FX series is full-size XLRs, very easy to use, but the disadvantage is no SDI. So that's why a lot of them were called prosumers. But when you're spending $6,000 on a C70, no SDI, right. That's life. Now, when we come back over here and we're looking at the Canon, one of the things Canon really did well was put I/O on here like you wouldn't believe. So these SDI inputs, these BNC inputs are just a really good job. The fact they added in that new hot shoe, so it has information going through that, which this is going to be phenomenal because you're going to get 24-bit audio through really good XLR mics. Even when you got it in box form and full size, there's an adapter that's sitting in the R series that will be available to use on this. They did put a nice contemporary design to it, so you can use it as a shoulder rig, a hand rig. One of the types, which we do a lot of, is the run and gun shooting. You do especially for Converge.
Absolutely. And which, like I said, I use the Black Magic quite often, Converge, but Black Magic design is kind of I use a Pocket 6K. Now that's Pocket 6K. They have a couple of versions, which is one with the built-in ND filter,
which
that has, right. And so then they came out with the Pixis, where it's missing the ND filter. But
that's a box. But they're gonna have a pro version of that one.
Right. We'll see. Well, but back to the Canon, we've used, as you mentioned earlier, we used the C70 before, and the C70, I had a problem growing. It didn't really grow on me like that. And
was it the handle where it was just about to fall off, or was it the fact that the monitor was about to fall off?
It was. The monitor was robust. It wasn't too bad.
What are you talking about? If you took the monitor and you touched it and you went like this too hard,
right,
it would fly off. Stupid thing.
Man, look, I treated with care. Most I do with my cameras. However, is the functionality, the buttons. It wasn't as intuitive for me.
That I have to admit, it was like using a handheld DSLR from like 2008 as a video camera. And that was kind of a joke on it because it really couldn't do anything.
Right. And so they had a lot of function buttons on the C70 that you have to program, and it just didn't quite. You have to be an avid user to understand it. And with that being said, let's compare it to other cameras like Sony FX series.
Okay, so yeah. Let's go over that real quick. I'm sorry to switch out the page again, but he's got a good point, and I kind of want to give him an opportunity to really like get this point out. So on the FX series, everything is intuitive, and it describes what you need to do. Describes what you need to do from ISO to white balance to the touch screen to your audio, turning your audio on and off.
Right.
Any of the FX series, any of the A7 series with a K3M adapter, you were just beast mode. You just made a box camera out of it, and that made a huge difference.
And the thing about it, it's also more simplistic on where the buttons are. It's not as busy, unless you're using an SLR that has all the different features, but it's not as busy as the C70. Now, back to this.
There's a couple things that I want to really highlight on this.
Yeah,
Number one, they really made a great handle.
It looks good.
That handle there, I could see myself holding the camera like this for a day and not having a problem.
And in fact, you have the over the knuckle grip right there where you can grab onto it and get that good. It's padded.
That
feels very comfortable.
That's beautiful. I have to admit, that's absolutely gorgeous. The fact that this screen is going to be very easy to move around. I don't know how bright it is. I don't know all the other features on it, but even if that screen sucked and it was my secondary screen, the fact that I have pole here,
right? Okay.
That I can adapt a 7-inch monitor onto, and so one's just my control monitor, my other is my verification monitor. I don't mind doing that. That weight's not going to bother me because half the time I'm going to have a rig on me that allows me to hold that weight, so I'm just going to be able to move through the day, make adjustments, and still have the handle. So I've got two great hand points, and I've got that. The other part, which I think is fascinating, is how well they put these buttons on here. This is way better. This is where you were complaining about the C70. And the ND filters is plus minus is easy. All your manual controls, peaking, awesome. Audio controls right on the left-hand side. And what I really like about this is an AC can come in and help you while you're working. This just makes your life easy. Or even if you have a gaffer who works as an AC also, that's nice to have, or your audio guy helping you at the same time.
This is definitely a camera that is in a professional level. This is wonderful.
The BP batteries, I like these. I know a lot of you guys like the V-mount batteries, but I like these better.
Yeah.
Because you can get the same capability. Because most of the times you're just looking to put a monitor on these things, and so you're not putting anything else on it. So you plug in the BP battery, you get one with a D-tap, you plug it into your Atomos or your small HD, and you're ready to go. And it's the whole day long. You have nothing to worry about. When I say whole day long, you're going to be 3 batteries in a day.
Yeah. So the BP battery that comes with it, right? What is the life cycle? What is the life of it?
It's going to vary a little bit. You're going to get anywhere between.
So how long do you think it lasts on an open gate if you shoot an open gate?
The largest version, the 900 series or 9 series, you're probably going to get to 2.5 hours. And that's with a monitor at medium. I'd say 2 hours. And the thing about it is you're not going to be shooting for 2 hours straight. You're rarely ever shooting. If you're shooting for 2 hours straight, you're always going to have a plug-in power source, and this is your backup. Now, what's really nice back here that a lot of people have not really talked about, and this part is cool, is you have monitor out, and you've also got SDI out. So this is really nice. So depending on what you're doing, 3G, 12G. 3G is great if you're just having something to watch and make sure everything goes. Or you can do 12G out to, say, an Atomos and get a really nice recording, or 12G out into broadcast. Still got HDMI, still got microphones. And this input right here is really, really cool. So
nice. Now, what about the memory option? As far as what you're taking as far as does that take CFast card or
same thing?
Same
CFast. It's same as it's always been. And I'm going to cut this in about 2 minutes. It's just something that we just thought I'd come on and just to talk about this for a couple of minutes.
Yeah, real quick, I noticed that they had an RF mount, and they also have it comes just with RF mount, and then you use adapter for PL mounts or anything. What is those options for that?
This one's weird. This is where we're going to end this at, and we'll go on to another broadcast another time on this. It comes with the RF mount with all the autofocus capabilities, but it is the dual pixel system Gen 2 or Gen 3. The system that's right behind the R's, new upgrade. So I'm a little disappointed on that, but for $1,500 more, and some of you will think this is a ridiculous dollar amount, but it's not. If you're using Cook lenses and you're on a high-end production and this is going to be put beside something else or as a B cam to something that's using Cook lenses, you will have the ability to get all the information, everything out. So in your metadata, you're going to be able to get that with their PL adapter, which is super nice.
So the last question is, well, is it really worth the price considering all the competitions out here?
Are you talking about to the Red? Is this where
Compared to the Red, all the cameras, even the Z cam, the 6K E2, I mean the E2 6K, you know what I mean, and the full frame Black Magic and the Red Komodo, right? Is the price point, is it good for what it is? Does it stand? Is it good? Would you buy it? Would your consumers buy it? Everybody should drop a comment on what they think about it.
If you are an R shooter, a Canon shooter, someone who's wanting to leave Red, if you are someone who just got a loan for $15,000 and you want to be able to get right to work, doing a live stream, everything you need to do, tripod, camera, lens, versus say like a Red. Let's just go right. Let's just talk straight up. The Red Komodo versus this.
Okay.
And you wanted to go right to work. When I say right to work, that means press go, have XLR, audio, everything in. So I'm talking real work,
Right.
not play work. Yeah. And this is someone who's, just so everybody knows, I hate Canons. Not my love for you, but I have a despise for how Canon just cannibalizes its stuff and makes consumers have to go up. This is the first camera they at least put out that allows someone to walk in with a $15,000 business loan and recoup it probably in 3 months to 5 months. Recoup and pay off. And that's a big deal to me. Canon finally is looking at someone who goes, well, I need to be able to jump into every avenue, every place, and work. This is not a good camera if you want to just cinema. This is not a good camera if you wanted to do documentaries. It's not a good camera for any of those. It has nothing exceptional about it. What this camera is good at is like having a Swiss Army knife in your pocket. Swiss Army knife can't cut that well. Swiss Army knife can't screw things very well. Swiss Army knife can't open up bottles very well, but it can do it no matter what. And that's where this camera comes in. If you're talking open gate, all that stuff, so you're not going to shoot that. If you're going to talk about the 800, 3200, and 12,000, with everybody, if you can't shoot a 3200 ISO right now with your camera sucks. I don't care who you are, your camera sucks. The 12,000 ISO, I'll give you that as props. That's nice to do. Let's be completely honest. The all intra platforms are available on consumer cameras as low as $1,500. So all intra is not very spectacular. And that's what the XF A.P.C is. But there is an advantage of the raw on that, is you can get 24-bit audio. Pisses me off because any of the FX series, any of the Sony series can do 24-bit audio as long as you have the audio adapter on any codec. So that's that here nor there. Time code and Genlock, that's important. That's just the way it goes. You need both of those tools. It's just life. And that's what makes it able to go any place. Having 3G and 12G is huge. And most people don't get this part, is your AC would have a nice HD monitor to be able to pull their focus. You're in any place, you can send out a 12G signal, which is basically your 4K signal to a big broadcast. You still have an HDMI out, but you're gonna have the two nice ones there, so your people can get to work.
Absolutely.
So you can work with a team. So you have a lot of versatility there. Having mini XLR, huge, and pissed me off at the same time. You should have a full size XLR. There is no reason that Sony can throw this into a $2,100 camera and have XLR, and you can't do it with an $8,000 camera.
So I wasn't aware. That's a mini XLR on there?
Yeah, mini XLR.
Okay, guys. Mini XLR, you're paying $8,000. You see that, right? Come on, there's no excuses.
But other than that, I mean, if I had to say the camera, the audio section pisses me off, but overall, you can get right to work. And that's what I love about this camera, because if you were like, I need to walk to every store down the street and offer to do a video for $1,000 to every little store down the street until I can recoup my money.
Right. And I would like to see Small Rig to create a cage for that one.
No, I think they have created a cage for it, but overall, I think that's phenomenal. Let's take a look at some of the pictures that Canon provides, and I love how they can rig this up really good. They showed some of the versatility that you can do and how you can switch it up size-wise. Overall mountings. I mean, if we were going to talk about things, I can't complain too much. Going down to Super 16, going to Super 35, talking about, your C logs that are good. The raw, no one's really going to be shooting raw unless you're doing a movie. And if those who say you do all the time, you're crazier than me, because I shoot in ProRes and I already know how much data that takes. You're going to see some things that are going to be very important for this 12,000 ISO piece. It only works on Canon log, and so you really don't have it's not the same as Sony's 12,800 ISO, because you can use that on any freaking area.
Pretty much.
So that's one of the things. And then the Rec 709, that's pretty pathetic. So there are a couple of things that gets me. Overall, like all the rest of this stuff is the same as everybody else. The only one that's going to be bigger is all intra, which that's a huge amount of data coming through right here. But I mean, still 10-bit, and that's all that really matters, is still 10-bit. You're not getting anything spectacular. CF Express and then V90s are great to use. Built-in NDs, the fact that you get the 10 stops is really nice.
I have to say, with the built-in MD, that's going to put it, let's say you have the Pixis, Blackmagic Pixis that came out. Price points you can't argue with, although they don't have an internal MD filter. I mean, if you're going to use it for production anyway, it's like you have a map box with the MD filter on top of it.
Yeah, you're going to have an MD filter anyway.
But
you're going to have an optically clear one. And let's be honest, you're going to have $1,000 one sitting in front of it, so that's not going to make a difference.
Right.
So we're not.
I like that they include the MD filter in there, for the price,
So, I mean, let's be honest. We own enough sites. We do enough very 1D filters. It doesn't make a freaking difference. It's. And then I like how they're doing the focus. I do like this locking ring. I mean, there's a lot of pluses, very few minuses. They just made a nice, solid, you can go to work camera. And I think Canon's finally got back to you can go back to work.
Right. Good redeemer. Good job, Canon.
And so overall, I'd say it's a good camera. I think if you're going to be thinking about making money, and let's be honest, the people who are looking at that camera are going to be going to make money. I carry $10,000 for the cameras all the time. By the time you gear them up, set them up, mine are $10,000 out the door. Sometimes $15,000 when I walk in the door. It's frightening. I've got $15,000 worth of 2 cameras. Let's go. And it's no joke. That's just lenses, monitor, mounts. They done. $12,000, $15,000. And you know, at the same right here, you can go to work and work any place you want to work. In a lot of ways, it's better than my setup on that part, and I like that. So I usually rent something to get to this level, and the fact I can do it, and I'll be frank with you, anyone who's out there, you can buy the Canon C400 versus the Komodo X, which are going to be in a few situations where you do need that global shutter, but you're going to give up certain things. By the time you rig up that Komodo X to be able to have the handle, the monitor, the XLRs, and everything else, you're $15,000. I don't care who you say you are, you're 15 grand for it mounted properly. $8,000. You put you can get a set of the Trinity lenses for this for another at least two of the Trinities and still be at $5,000 there. And memory cards and be under $15,000, and you can buy yourself $1,000 or $500 nice video fluid head tripod. And let's be frank, once you do all that, you're ready to go to work.
Right.
And you can even buy water coverings and everything else. And by the time you get all of that done, you're still under $15,000. And that's with a BP battery that'll last you 3 hours straight. Yeah. And that's saying something.
Yeah.
And so Canon, as much as I am your haterade person, and when I say haterade, I am haterade. If you don't know me, I'm haterade on Canon. He's been on site with me many times making fun of all the Canons we have on site.
Right.
Now, that don't mean I don't use them.
I don't hate Canon because I started out on Canon, shooting on Canon. Then I switched to Sony. And I fell in love.
I hate Canon with a passion.
Blackmagic.
And still, I'm saying right now, if you are a solid shooter who wants to go out there and make a living and have a nice camera in hand, just got a loan or a grant, and you've got $15,000, $10,000, $15,000 on a credit card line, minimum $10,000 because you need a memory card and a good video and a good lens.
Right.
You're going to go out and make money. Yeah. And it's a solid camera for that. And
very versatile.
And I'm going to say right off the bat, magnificent job, Canon. Magnificent job. I do know our business partner here. He's already eyeing two of them. He's replacing the C70s. Two of them. So we already know they're coming to our set. I'm going to learn them. I'm going to master the camera because overall it's going to be a great tool for us to use. Am I still going to be a Canon hater? Yes. I will have an objectionable hate to Canon. It's just the way it goes. But overall,
life without drama would be boring.
Canon did a fantastic job. Like I said, as you can see the fire around this, they made a fire camera. I mean, absolute fire. So thank you for watching. This is Lavoy over here. He does a ton of productions out here with Prestige Media in the Pacific Northwest. I'm William with WDCD Media and A.P.C Photography. I'm telling you right now, A.P.C Photography is going to my son. WDCD Media is going to be the new name in 25 and 26, but no, 26. 25, my son graduates, gets his bachelor's degree. So A.P.C goes to him. So WDCD Media is coming, and let's knock it out. Everybody do good. If you're a Canon lover, go get this camera, go make some money, and keep doing great. Peace.